Let me start with our panelists. I would like to welcome JJ from Integral, Nick from NBC, Paul, Alan, Simon, Alex, and Marco, who joined us yesterday. You know, since Dr. Riyad mentioned in the morning, he mentioned a little bit, talked about multi-platform. It was the #1 in the list that the presentation before, selected by many people. And as we know, it's the hot topic also in the region. We've seen some services already having here in the region, but it seems that we'll have even more. However, we have, during this process, moving from a broadcast to traditional broadcast environment to this multi-platform world, we have lots of challenges, and this is what we are going to discuss. I would like to start. I'm not gonna really direct questions to any one of you directly. I'm gonna ask the question, open the topic, and then you guys feel free to put your input. Obviously, the first thing that people, when they want to consider a multi-platform, they have to make a set of choices, and one of them is standards, and also a streaming protocol. So, what do you think, you guys, where the trends are going in terms of standards and streaming protocols now, and what are the region here are implementing?
I can start. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think that this is very important, that when we talk about multi-platform, as you well said, there are certain standards that are the predominant that we can see in the market, and we can also see that the industry as a whole is moving and making very bold steps into consolidating a standard that can bring together, and let's put in words, the Apple world, the Microsoft world, and the Android world.
Okay.
If we put in the shoes of the end user, it's really important to have this common user experience that can allow them to move between different platforms, between different devices, having one seamless experience. One experience that it can not only be about multiple devices and multi-platform, but also about choosing and selecting the right content for the right device.
Exactly.
So when we see, for instance, MPEG Dash is a very strong and bold movement that the industry is doing as a whole to actually set the standards into this direction.
Okay. Any other comments? Simon, we had Alan, we had the morning.
The requirements vary a lot from operator to operator.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one definitive standard that you can say is going to fit all. 3 years ago, we developed at ART a hybrid set-top box. That set-top box uses a whole different set of technologies than the OSN set-top boxes, because the requirements of the two operators are totally different.
Mm-hmm.
So the starting point is defining the requirements before you can decide on the standards.
Okay.
But I agree. I think Dash is probably the way that most things are going to go.
Yeah, great. Simon, we had an email conversation about that.
Yeah, so I mean, what I think is important to understand in the multi-platform world is that it's both broadcast and IPTV and over the top. Yeah, I mean, there was always this a year or so ago, people were saying over the top or IPTV would kill off linear broadcasting, but that's not what's happening here. There's growth of linear TV, there's growth of alternative platforms, and it's the merging of those standards. So certainly Dash and HTML5, those sort of things are very important. But one driving standard, I think, are things like HBBTV, this hybrid broadband broadcast type standards. Those in the future will become vital for the delivery of the service.
Actually, that's true. We were at the European Union are trying to consolidate and make kind of standards for the connected TV world, and there was a meeting in Cyprus a few weeks back, and HBBTV was on the table of the discussion all the time. It seems that HBBTV is going to be most probably the next big winner. It is already implemented over 22 countries right now, and we've seen, actually, I was in an electronic shop here, and I've seen some TVs coming to the region with the HBBTV logo. So if anyone from the operators here that are willing to have HBBTV service, means that TVs are here in the market.
I think this comes back to something that someone on the last panel was saying. I think when we talk about standards and when we talk about how we deliver stuff to people, we need to start talking together, and we do need to start defining what they are as an industry in this region. And that's something I hope that ASBU would be able to help us with, and working alongside operators such as Zane, Titilat do, and everything else. I don't think we necessarily have enough conversations about what standards we're going to be using.
Paul, from your experience here in the region, when people are contacting you to build, let's say, a new platform or to offer to take service from your company, what are the main questions or asks they want from you? Are they have a set of, they have a decision what they want to do? We have this content that we need to deliver on this platform, this device, or you play this role for them? And what is the trend here? What people are asking you?
Well, clearly, one of the first things that comes to mind is cost, right? So maintaining an effective cost delivery platform is crucial. So the biggest thing that comes to our table when we develop solutions for any customer, no matter which region you're in, is cost. How do I achieve a cost-effective delivery solution while maintaining quality, deliverability to all the different platforms? So that's one of the things that we deal with the most.
Okay. Cost is main, and you mean cost because, you know, we all know that margins on multi-platform delivery is really low. So, I mean, cost always a challenge. Marco, and Alex, do you see this issue? Cost
I definitely agree with Paul, right? Sorry.
Yeah.
Definitely cost is the number one variable. Of course, when it comes to multiple different standards and way of delivering video, you know, that has a huge impact on cost, especially the head-end side, as our friends from Integral know very well. So from our side, what we try to do is, in fact, you know, suggest to lower down, at least at the beginning of the deployment, the different number of you know, standards that you're actually using to deliver video to any device. And from our side, we try to embed you know, a player into any application that we deliver to multiple devices in order to support that specific standard. You know, at the end, what you want to do is deliver video to any device with good quality. As you rightly said, we see that vis-a-vis traditional PTV and pay TV markets, the impact of cost on OTT is really huge. We see actually as a trend that you know, companies that are building head-ends and delivering head-ends are seeing a decrease, let's say, in prices of 1 to 10 vis-a-vis traditional PTV broadcasting, and that has a huge impact, of course, on the business and the number of players and the quality of these, you know, these solutions, hardware vis-a-vis software. And of course, the number of players out there are increasing a lot, especially in the software side. Yeah. And you know, new models, as probably we'll discuss later, new models to deliver services in a more cost-effective ways, especially hosted models, especially models in which you know, you provide software as a service, with maybe sometimes packaging as well content. Is the way it's going to market.
We've seen here in the region so far an OTT service. I mean, we have a lot, but one with OSN to a box, because they have already a box, and it's going very well. I had a sneak preview on the Integral STC one, which is coming soon to the market, again on a box. NBC, you did an app. So what do you think, guys? You are involved in the region from many platforms. What do you think the successful device is going to be? A connected TV, a game console, a set-top box, an app? What is it?
To be honest with you, I think it's horses for courses. It's our job to get media to people that want to watch it. I use most of these things you've mentioned. I have a set-top box, I have connected TV, I have games consoles, and it's just how you want to view it. Yeah. It's one of the things we're working with Shahid.net, is to try and get it out to as many platforms as we can do, so as many people as possible can enjoy our content.
Yeah, I could jump in. I think it's tough to choose a winner, right? I think at the end of the day, the consumers want to view it in as many possible formats as possible and as many devices. So we shouldn't really try to limit ourselves by which one we think is going to be the right horse to pick.
But do we need to build our system to be able to deliver to all those?
I was going to jump back and say there's simplicity coming,
100%.
right? So like one of the things you talked about earlier, your questions about trends going forward, you know, you try to deliver a video asset today, you have to choose which formats, 1 to 3 or 4 formats, how many profiles are going to come out, 6 or so profiles. There's a cost element to that, and there's just a complexity to that. Some of the new trends that we're seeing, and I have to speak on the CDN side, but you know, we are transcoding and encoding the assets at the edge on the CDN. What that will end up doing is you give us one feed in, and then we can do it on the fly and deliver it. I think that's a really cool trend, and someone is listening to some of the broadcast from questions or comments from the earlier panels, because this is the easiest way to be able to take multi-platform delivery.
Yeah, I think that if you will see, like, the Middle East is particularly catered for like vertical offers and micro-segmentation. And when we go into micro-segmentation, we're going to see, like, you know, customers selected a particular device for a particular content. So I'm not necessarily like supporting the fact that we need to support all devices, all standards, and all type of content. It will really come to basically the value proposition that each company is putting together. Today, for instance, we're putting a very strong proposition around sports, which is going to be supported and catered for certain type of devices. That they are the devices that the people that really follow sports are having and are using. So I kind of like disagree a little bit with my colleagues and opted more for a kind of like a segmented approach on both, on the content side, on the packaging side, and on the delivery side.
Interesting. I mean, we have also to not forget also the fact of the demographic fact of the region, which is youth mainly, and all these people they use on the go. They need the mobile and tablet as their device. Is there any enough services running now in the region on the platform other than Shahid, which is a successful one? Are you planning, maybe, Alan, do you have any idea if anyone in the region?
No, going back to the question though, I think the short-term growth in the Middle East is going to be HBB kind of boxes.
Okay.
The big problem with the Middle East is bandwidth. For 7 years I lived in Jordan. The maximum speed I ever got into my apartment was 0.5 megabit. I was paying for 1.5, and I was actually achieving half. You can't run a realistic streaming service on 0.5 megabit.
Yeah.
So the only way you're going to get your high-speed live content, your sport, your news onto a device in the home in a lot of parts of the Middle East is via satellite. The internet side is brilliant for doing the download and play of movies and series, etc., like the BBC iPlayer. Brilliant. So in the short term, I see the HDTV being the standard. Your back end, your playout facility, you build around one standard. I inherited a very good system that was MPEG 215 megabit, all file-based system from Dr. Labada. We then moved it over to an MPEG 4 system for this particular reason. That MPEG 4 system would then have actually fed all the newer devices that we brought in after the HBTV. So it's a stepping stone approach.
I mean, you're talking at home, which is, I believe this is true. But again, on mobile now, most of the Arab countries, they have 3G in Saudi, they have 4G. I mean, even the bandwidth issue in GCC, it doesn't exist. We can say that. But on the go, do you think people will be? I mean, STC here, we have NBC, we have Integrated NBC. Are you planning to have more services on mobile, on tablets?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's one of our commitments with our partners and our clients is actually bring the best content that is available to the end user. And like it, independent if it's mobile, if it's like fixed, or if it's like on a tablet or like whatever they want to consume it. But I want to move to the other side of the equation, that is the content. You know, content availability and really kind of relevant content. Beside what was presented before, it's like, yes, a number of channels has emerged, but how many of those channels really are bringing original content? Original content that can be distributed across platforms? Not many. So we're still finding like very difficult to get into these areas, get into, you know, those type of content and get it fit into our systems.
Do you think that we should try to lock a type of content to a device? Let's say this is what maybe one of the solutions, that this device movies works on it very well. This one sports, this one something else. Do you think we should do that, or we should just keep every platform works everywhere on every piece of content?
Well, for instance, you will see on gaming